Okay, this is a pretty incredible series of events. First of all is the way that the media is covering this story. So the Biden administration put out its budget request. Now this is where if you really want to see something in DC and its power, you follow the money. Let's put this up there on the screen. So the Biden administration is going to be requesting $715 billion for their first Pentagon budget, which is, as they put it over at Bloomberg, a quote, a decrease from Trump-era spending trends, which might lead you to conclude that the decrease in Trump-era spending trends means it's smaller. Now, as Glenn points out, how do you positively frame the fact that Biden has requested the largest Pentagon budget in history, even larger than amounts under Trump, quote, with the phrase, a decrease from Trump-era spending trends? And it's just pretty remarkable that you can have the press cover for you in this way, where you request the largest Pentagon budget in history, and okay, go ahead and justify it if you want to, because I've heard plenty from Biden over the years about the military-industrial complex and about how they wield too much power, etc. Go ahead and do this, and the media will still carry water for you because it's at a lower spending rate than the generals wanted.
The increase is less.
Yeah.
It's still increasing, but the increase is less than the increase under Trump. The bottom line is still more money than even Donald Trump wanted.
It's the biggest budget ever.
And by the way, they weren't the only ones that covered it in this super misleading, gaslighty way. Like, this was kind of the standard way that this was covered by the media. And by the way, just to put this in context, I pulled some numbers. So the defense budget that the Biden administration is getting from Trump, like as things stand right now, it is higher when adjusted for inflation than when the U.S. was at the peak of the Cold War under Ronald Reagan, okay? So these amounts are astronomical, but this tells you how it is. Why do you never cut the military spending budget? Well, in part, it's because of the number of powerful interests here who spent a lot of money on lobbying and a lot of money on buying up former members of Congress and former agency heads and all of that to make sure that they keep getting those increases so that they can fund their spending and fund their bottom line. But number two, he's worried about taking a press hit from the, oh, you're soft on defense, you're weak on the military, you're cutting back on military spending. And that type of thinking leads it to just keep increasing and keep increasing and keep increasing and keep increasing, because no one ever feels like they can take a step back and say, you know what, this is insane. Like, this is way more than what we need. This is way beyond what we can possibly justify. The amount of fat here, the priorities that we have here with the amount that's going to the military versus the amount that's going to our own citizens, to social safety net, and making sure that our people are okay is insane. They're always afraid to take that media hit and buck the military-industrial complex here in this town. And so this is what happens. It just expands and expands and expands.
If you want to really see how they run this town, it's that they can convince every defense journalist, and I used to be one, and these people push back very hard, you would not believe, by saying that it's Biden is actually, doing something noble by reducing the annual percent increase. So that is how they've gaslit everybody, which is that when you have a lower percent increase in your budget, it's somehow some sort of victory against the Pentagon or like lowering defense spending. And if you want to know where this all leads to, perfect thing in CNN. Let's put this up there on the screen, which is CNN saying concerns mount. U.S. withdrawal from Afghanistan could risk progress on women's rights. Now, we've covered this here before. First of all, the United States spent over about $1 billion on women's rights in Afghanistan. Number two, is it the job of the United States to guarantee women's rights in Afghanistan? I'm not saying I'm not supportive of women's rights in Afghanistan. But third, which is this, they are using this as a pretext for exactly this, for hundreds of billions of dollars to continue to be spent in Afghanistan. And the Biden administration's already said they're not going to abide by the May 1st deadline in order to withdraw troops. And if you're paying attention, the Taliban actually just attacked in one of the most brazen attacks on a U.S. secret CIA base in the country that we have seen in almost 2 years. People were totally taken aback by it. Why? Because we're not upholding our end of the deal, and we're staying. And so the Taliban is like, okay, game on. So U.S. casualties about to mount, and the entire justification for staying is twofold. Number one It's our job, apparently, to protect women's rights in Afghanistan. Number two, which is that, well, the security situation is deteriorating. Why is it deteriorating? Because we're not upholding our end of the peace deal. And so we can't leave until the security situation improves, and the security situation won't improve until we start to leave. Do you understand here how you're getting gaslit into staying literally forever? It's just amazing to me that it's so naked, and that CNN literally just prints this, like, ridiculous propaganda. It's like a parody level of that meme where people are like, well, at least the bombs are falling on us by women pilots.
Right, exactly, like, with a rainbow flag out.
Thank you.
Wokeifying endless wars is disgusting.
Yeah.
I mean, it just is. And like, okay, if you really are committed to women's rights in Afghanistan, what's it going to take? How many more troops?
500,000
How much more
troops,
money?
probably.
How many more lives? Tell us. Justify it. Lay out the plan. How we're going to get there. Because there isn't one. And that's the thing. It's like, yeah, they're gaslighting you into thinking that if you're a good advocate for women, you're going to support staying in Afghanistan. And they're not going to accomplish the objective. How long have they been there? They haven't accomplished that objective yet. Yeah. What makes you think that staying for an extra, it's always, just 6 months. We just need 6 months more. We just need a year more. We just need a few more troops. Then we'll be able to accomplish the objective. That's BS. I mean, we've covered here the Afghanistan papers. They lied to you about progress being made in Afghanistan. There was no progress being made. They wanted the illusion of progress so they could continue to justify endless spending over and over and over again. It never ends until it ends.
No, it will not end. It will continue to get worse. The security situation is deteriorating. A lot of it has to do with the way that the U.S. continues to conduct itself there in terms of, we enter into these peace negotiations and now the peace negotiations are fake. You can blame the Taliban all you want. I'm not going to blame the Taliban for acting like the Taliban, even if I hate their guts. But, we have control over the situation. We can leave. You can literally wash your hands of this situation. And they just absolutely refuse to do so.
What a mess. Tomorrow on Rising, Jennifer Holdsworth-Karp and Rachel Bovard, they're here for Team Rising.
That's right. And the Atlantic Derek Thompson is going to discuss how mRNA technology could change the world. Remember to hit the subscribe button so you don't miss any of our videos. Don't forget to like and share as well. And we will see you all tomorrow.
Have a good one, guys.